Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Kristi and today I have a meal prep video I want to share with you guys. I want you to know just how easy it is to get some meals and snacks, breakfasts, lunch, dinners even ready throughout the week. So when you come home from work or picking up the kids after school programs or whatever, and you guys are famished, you're wore out, you won't have to worry about cheating. Or going off plan. We're going to say going off plan. So here is what I made this week. Remember, if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do so because we'd love to have you as a member of our YouTube family. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. My name will be right here and I post over there on my stories daily. I also have a Facebook group, All Things Keto with Kristi, and it is a wonderful group of people. They're so encouraging and helpful, and I do live videos there every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, let's go ahead and let me show you what I prepped for this week. This is a recipe that was sent to me by a friend, so I'll share it with you because I'm not really sure who to give credit to. I have searched online and cannot figure out whose recipe this is. So the first thing you're going to need for these cinnamon rolls is almond flour. You're going to need mozzarella, cream cheese, baking powder, and also 1 egg, and you'll want that at room temperature. You're going to start out with 1.5 cups of shredded mozzarella cheese and 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. We're going to put this in a microwave-safe bowl. This one is glass. And I'm going to microwave this for 60 to 90 seconds. When it comes out of the microwave, just go ahead and stir that up really good and make sure you get the cream cheese and the mozzarella cheese mixed really well. To your cheese mixture, you're going to add your room temperature egg. I went ahead and mixed this up a little bit and scrambled it, and go ahead and mix this together. Once you get it mixed up really well, you're going to see that it's smooth. What we're making here is a fathead dough. Next, you're going to add your almond flour, and that is 3/4 cup. And lastly, to our dough, we're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And we're going to want to mix all of this together till a dough forms. This is not in the recipe that was sent to me, but I'm adding it in. These are the O flavorings, one-on-one flavorings. This one is the cinnamon Danish swirl. These are just concentrated keto-friendly flavorings. Since this one is cinnamon Danish swirl, I'm going to add a couple of drops to my dough just to give it some extra flavor. I'll have these linked below if you do want to check them out. I love them. They come in a variety of flavors and I use them quite often, but this is definitely an optional step. I've set my dough to the side and I'm going to go ahead and get my ingredients together for the mixture that's going to go inside the cinnamon rolls. I'm going to be using pure. You're going to want granulated sugar, and you're going to need 2 tablespoons of that. And then ground cinnamon. I think I just picked this one up at Dollar Tree, and you'll need 2 teaspoons of that. And what I'm going to do is just take a fork and I'm just going to mix all of that together while my dough rests for a few seconds. Okay, I do have a little bit of coconut oil on my hand. It just makes it easier when working with your dough. You're going to want to take this and divide it up into 6 equal balls. I'm working just on wax paper. You can use wax or parchment. So now I have my dough rolled out into balls. These are 6 equal balls. What we're going to do is take these on our wax and parchment paper and roll them out into thin, long lines, and then flatten those out. You'll want these to be about 1 foot long. And again, it's easier if you coat your hands with some coconut spray or coconut oil, and that way none of this sticks. Now we're going to take these and flatten them out pretty thin. Now we're just going to take our cinnamon sugar mixture and sprinkle some of that and work it around our dough. Once we have that on there, we're going to want to start to roll these up at one end. Then sort of push the end down so that it sticks together. And then we're going to cut these in half. So you're going to end up with 12 cinnamon rolls. And once you get those rolled, we're just going to put these on some parchment paper so that we can put them in the oven. Now, just continue the process. Now that we have these rolled out and cut into 12 cinnamon rolls, we're going to put them in the oven 360 degrees at 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to start at 15, that way I can come back and check them. Okay, they've been in 15 minutes now. Let's see what we got going on there. They're looking really good. Did something a little different with these few over here, but they look really good. I think they're probably getting close to being done at about 15 minutes. I'm going to close them up and let them brown just for a few more minutes. If you want, you can make a really fancy cream cheese frosting for your cinnamon rolls, but we go with like a really simple glaze on top of ours because we love the taste of the cinnamon rolls. So all you need is your powdered sugar substitute. The one I am using is by Now Real Food Organic Confectioner's Erythritol, and some heavy whipping cream, small bowl, and a fork or whisk to stir it in with. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's long enough now. Let's go ahead and get these out and set them over here to cool. Definitely no measurements for the glaze. It just depends on what you want to do as far as icing goes. I'm going to put a couple of spoonfuls of my powdered sugar in here. And then a little bit of my heavy whipping cream. And then just mix that together till it makes a glaze. This is more like a donut glaze and what we want on ours. So once you get that mixed up in the consistency you like, while these are still a little warm, you're just going to want to drizzle them over top. Again, feel free to make a cream cheese icing if you want. And that is it. Once these are cooled, I do store them in a container and in the refrigerator as we want them. We'll just reheat those. These last several days. The girls love these for breakfast and with butter on top. I know, cinnamon rolls and butter. I'm gonna make the girls some Jellos to put in their lunch for the week. It'll make 4. I get these little containers at Walmart. They're just Glad containers. This does make 4 servings. This is the natural Simply Delish Raspberry Jello, and it's 6 calories. It does make 4. It does say that it has 4 carbs, but the sweetener in it, and it doesn't list your sugar alcohols. Your sweetener in this is erythritol and stevia. I'm going to assume this has less than 4 carbs because it doesn't deduct the sugar alcohols. So all you got to do is just take this packet out of here. This comes in a ton of different flavors, and I have many. You can also get this in pudding form. I think they have vanilla, and we have chocolate here. So you just want to do what the directions say. If you want to add a couple of pieces of fruit to eat, that would be good too for your kids' lunches. But the instructions are just empty 1 of the packets into 1/3 cup of cold water, stir until dissolved, and then 1 1/3 cup of boiling water into that mixture until it's well mixed. And then I'm going to divide it out into the 4. Here's what your little packet looks like. We're just going to cut that open and put it in the bowl. I have my 1 1/3 cup boiling on the stove because you want to get it hot. Just want to add this and then go ahead and whisk together. This does have carrageenan in it. I know a lot of people don't like to use that because it is considered, I think, an inflammatory Okay, my water is done boiling, and this was 1 1/3. Mix this all together. Then we're going to go ahead and divide this out after we have it mixed into our little containers. Now I'm just going to allow these to cool like it says in the directions. Let it come to about room temperature because you just added boiling water to this. After it's cooled down, I'll go ahead and put the lids on it and store it in the refrigerator. It says it's ready to eat at about 60 minutes, but these are for the girls' lunches throughout the week. Of course, if you have more containers, you can make more of these. These are perfect for your child's lunch. You're not giving them tons of extra sugar, and you're not giving them a lot of carbs. Also, if you need something like this for your snack and you're buying the ones in the store like the Jello, I know a lot of people complain about the ingredients in those, and the ingredients in this one is much better. Again, I picked this one up at Thrive. I'll have Thrive linked below for you if you want to check them out. I need to make some ranch dressing. The recipe that I use is from the Southern Keto Cookbook. She has her own recipe just for all your spices so that you have your dry mix ready at all times. And then here is the rest of the ingredients you're going to need. It is sour cream, lemon juice, heavy whipping cream, and mayo. I usually don't show the recipe for what is in this book. I will have this linked below in case anybody is interested. This is my favorite keto cookbook out there. It is available on Amazon. Again, it'll be linked below. But since I'm not showing you everything that goes into this dry mix, I figure I can tell you the ingredients that go into making the dip. We make it thicker so that it's dip-like. We use it to dip my deep fried pickles in, or to dip chicken nuggets in, and things like that. So let me show you how we throw this together. First thing you're going to need is sour cream, and this is 1 cup. Next is 1/2 cup mayo, 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. The recipe calls for fresh lemon juice. No, I don't keep fresh lemons in the house because they would just go bad. But I do keep something like this, and it's just a lemon concentrate with no sugar added. And you want to put about 1 teaspoon in there. Now I make her dry mix up, her ranch dry mix seasoning up in advance so that we have it. So you're definitely going to want to shake this up really good before you scoop it out. It takes 2 tablespoons, but... And see how you want to mix all this up first because the garlic powder goes to the bottom. So definitely stir this up really well. Then once you have all of your ingredients in there, you just go ahead and whisk all this up. I do put this in a glass container. This one is, I think, Pyrex that we picked up at Sam's during Black Friday. And I like to let this refrigerate for several hours, usually overnight, so that all these seasonings incorporate better. I wanted to show you how thick this is, and you could leave some of the heavy whipping cream out, in my opinion, if you want it thicker like a dip. If you want it more runny like a dressing, then of course I think you could add more heavy whipping cream, but this is about the consistency we like. Again, I'm gonna put the lid on this and I'm gonna store it in the refrigerator. Then tomorrow we'll have this for the rest of the week. I feel like I've shown this 100 times, but yes, again, this week we are meal prepping some of my thin cut pork chops that the kids love. And these are good to have on hand. I picked these up at Aldi. You can see how thin they are. They cook up really quick and delicious in the air fryer. It's a great air fryer recipe. So what I'm gonna do with these is go ahead and open them and then put a layer in here. Once I have a layer of these in my air fryer, I'm going to take my olive oil, or you can take your avocado oil. I'm going to pour a little bit of that over the pork chops, and then I'm going to take my little silicone brush and rub it all over the tops of those. This gives you a little bit of the extra fats, plus when you put your seasonings on top of your pork chops, it just makes them stay better. So I'll rub that all over. And here's all my seasonings. I know, it's a disaster. These are the ones I use the most, usually garlic and onion. Today, I think we're going to use some of the Tony's on the pork chops and maybe one of the barbecue. I think Kerrigan likes the barbecue, if I have any of that left. Taco, red, everything. Did I use all of my Dax barbecue? It looks like I did. We may do some Lowry's and Old Bay then. So now I'm just going to take my seasoning and sprinkle some on top. I don't coat both sides, just the top. And then I'm going to take them over to the air fryer. This one is my favorite. It's the Cosori. I did get it off Amazon. I'll have it linked below for anybody that's interested. I'm going to go ahead and leave these on 350, but I'm going to move my time down. It takes anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes with these. I'm going to leave them on 10 and then I'll just check them. Then just push start and walk away. These are definitely done and I'm going to lay them over here. I will be putting these in a glass container that I'll store in the refrigerator. Now that these are done, I'm just going to go ahead and remove them and put them over here in the bowl, and then I'll make the next round of pork chops. These should probably last maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe. You got to remember we're a family of 5. I am separating them so we'll know which ones are which, because Kerrigan doesn't like spicy. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put the last few in here. Same process. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on each one of them. That middle one is super thin and this one over here on the end is super thick. Then just brush all that on. This time on these I'm going to make them more plain, so I'm just going to put some garlic seasoning on those and maybe a little bit of onion powder. But this way they'll be more plain, bland, and Briley will probably eat them. Okay, back in, same process again. We're gonna do 10 minutes. But I'm gonna have to check that middle one and probably take it out a lot sooner than that since it is so thin. So that was my last batch. I'll let these cool so that condensation doesn't gather on the bowl, and then just store these in the refrigerator for the week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. I hope everyone has a great week. Bye.